Seth Rollins wasting little time running out of the ring, going after Big Bronson Reed. But the question is, how wise was that by Rollins to go after Big Bronson Reed? And Bronson Reed, a true monster here in the WWE, has caused so much destruction to the WWE roster over the last few months, including leaving Rollins out of commission for over a month after Rollins was bleeding from the mouth. 6 tsunamis. I'm surprised it didn't crush Rollins to death. It almost seemed like it was the end of Seth freaking Rollins. But here we are at Crown Jewel, November 2nd, and Rollins is back, and he's ready to fight and take back what's his. Take back his dignity. Take back his mantle and stop the monster that is Big Bronson Reed. Thanks to a returning Seth freaking Rollins, Bronson Reed was what fell short to Braun Strowman in that last Monsters standing match. It was Rollins with a stomp to Big Bronson Reed on the steel steps, allowing Braun Strowman to get up to his feet before Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed unable to make the 10 count in that last Monster standing match. But right now, it's Rollins flying everywhere. Rollins with a suicide dive, taking Bronson Reed off his feet. Everything that Bronson Reed has done over the past several months, it's all come to Rollins being the gatekeeper. Rollins, who has slayed beasts, conquered beasts, slayed kings. He's done it all in the WWE. He's beaten the best of the best. And into the Timekeeper's area is Reed launching Rollins like a dart. Look at this. Rollins almost going face first in the barricade. Getting launched into the Timekeeper's area like a dart, as I mentioned. The destruction begins of Big Bronson Reed, who just sent Rollins into the steel steps. This match still hasn't officially started. The bell is not officially rung. And there we go. Now the bell is officially rung. This match is underway. And Rollins already showing signs of injuries. Already showing signs of weakness. Going after the apron. This might be quick. And I would say usually it's quick and painless. This is going to be quick and painful. With a tsunami to Seth freaking Rollins. Talk about making your mark. This might be the quickest match. Wait a minute. But Rollins got out of harm's way. Rollins with a stomp to Reed. Is he going to do it? Reed kicking out of 2. That was just barely a 2 count. I don't know how Rollins was able to get out of the way after that first tsunami. All that weight, over 300 pounds, crashing and burning, and that velocity adding more weight to what Rollins feels on the midsection, and still Rollins was able to get out of harm's way and be able to connect with the curb stomp on Big Bronson Reed. And now it's Rollins who has been able to turn things around in this match. Rollins, Reed, both back to their feet. Rollins on the attack of Big Bronson Reed with these chops. And now a big form from the Visionary. But Reed has Rollins up on his shoulder. Rollins gets over and survives. Rollins perhaps thinking a pedigree. The big man trying to block it. Is Rollins going to be able to connect? No, I don't think it's possible for Rollins to connect to the pedigree. Oh, and Reed just sits down. All over 300 plus pounds just sitting down on the chest of Seth freaking Rollins. Now you talk about getting the wind knocked out of you. Let's take a look at this one more. Boom! No remorse for the Visionary Seth freaking Rollins. For Big Bronson Reed, it's about making a statement. It's about going from here to here. It's about getting to that next level. Rollins has all the accolades that somebody like Big Bronson Reed wants to have. Rollins, world champion, WWE Champion, Universal Champion, Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion. All the accolades that Big Bronson Reed wants. And if you get through somebody like a cornerstone of WWE, like Seth freaking Rollins, Big Bronson Reed looking to use Seth freaking Rollins as a stepping stone to get to that next level, to get to the main event scene, to potentially become a world heavyweight champion. Big Bronson Reed is so vicious and so aggressive. And Rollins is finding out just what Bronson Reed is made of. Reed taking care of Rollins previously, and now with Rollins returning, it has become more personal than it has ever been between these two. Reed trying to take Rollins out of the spotlight. Reed trying to put himself in that spotlight, feeling he deserves it, that it's his time to shine. Reed has been absolutely impressive, but extremely monstrous and dangerous. Rollins trying to pick up Reed. 340 pounds crashes on Rollins, falling back into the mat. And a 2 count for Big Bronson Reed. The last thing you want to do is be under the weight of Big Bronson Reed. And we are sold out here in the Mohammed Abdo Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Currently, what you're watching is this heated rivalry between Seth freaking Rollins and Big Bronson Reed. Rollins looking to get revenge on Big Bronson Reed for taking him out of action for over a month with internal injuries after Rollins was bleeding up from the mouth after 6 tsunamis by Big Bronson Reed. And when you talk about the 340 pounds of Big Bronson Reed, plus the velocity of Big Bronson Reed crashing down, it's a lot of weight crashing down on Seth freaking Rollins, which made the injuries even worse. Big Bronson Reed is not your traditional big man. He is extremely athletic. He can do things in the ring that people his size should not be able to do. A monster like him only comes once in a lifetime. They talk about him and they talk about monsters like Big Bronson Reed in Greek mythology. And Reed picking up Seth freaking Rollins. But Rollins trying to counter, and he does with a DDT. A brilliant counter from the veteran that is Seth freaking Rollins. That's what you get from a multi-time world champion that can be so versatile inside the squared circle. Rollins was able to shift his weight forward and turn that pop-up by Big Bronson Reed into a DDT. And in Riyadh, they're trying to will on the visionary, the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins to finish off the reign of terror and end the reign of terror of Big Bronson Reed once and for all. Big Bronson Reed trying to get the biggest win of his career, but in the way is Rollins, who has all the heart in the world. Rollins up on the middle turnbuckle, clothesline, but Reed still staggering on his feet. At this point, Rollins has got to be wondering, what do I have to do to take out Big Bronson Reed? And there's Big Bronson Reed to meet Rollins at the top. And Rollins feeling all that. The family jewels connecting with that top turnbuckle bar. And then a thunderous chop to the chest of the visionary. And Big Bronson Reed climbing the ropes. Rollins not in a position he wants to be in whatsoever. Is Rollins biting the hand of Big Bronson Reed? You know, desperate times call for desperate measures. Sometimes you just have to do what you got to do. And Rollins knows, weight-wise, Rollins is outmatched. Rollins has Bronson Reed right where he wants him. Frog splash! Can Rollins take the win home? And only enough for just barely a 1 count before Reed powering out of the cover. Look at this from Rollins' splash. And it's really hard to get a cover on a guy like Big Bronson Reed to connect with big moves like that because of his big frame. It's more difficult for Bronson Reed to pick up, to feel the impact of moves like that. And Reed asking for more, a super kick by Rollins. Big discus forearm and another one to the back of the head of Reed. But Reed just runs right through Rollins. It's like if a brick wall ran right at you. And that spinning sit-out powerbomb by Reed, but Rollins just barely kicks out before the 3. And now the frustration starts to set in for Big Bronson Reed. It is his first premium live event match, so this is a big deal for Big Bronson Reed. And you gotta understand his frustration of wanting to get to the next level because of it, of wanting to make it to the main event scene. And there's a Death Valley driver by Reed. Pulls the leg back for the cover. And Rollins, again, still in this, showing that heart that we know he has. And for now, it seems like Rollins is just surviving. How much more damage can Rollins take from Big Bronson Reed as Reed stalks Seth freaking Rollins like prey? Reed is punishing Seth freaking Rollins. This is what Bronson Reed has been waiting for. Reed has been waiting for a moment like this where he can show what he's made of, where he can show just how powerful he is, and do it to somebody who's been the guy. Rollins has been a cornerstone in WWE for over 13 years. Superplex off the top and pulls the leg back for the biggest win of his career, but Rollins gets the shoulder up just barely before the 3. And as that frustration continues to build up with every kick out that Rollins shows his resiliency, Big Bronson Reed cannot let his emotions get the best of him. And Big Bronson Reed is not used to a competition like this. Big Bronson Reed has been just tearing everybody down, breaking WWE superstars limb from limb. And now he's facing somebody who has that never give up, never say die attitude in Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins saying you should have finished me when you had the chance. After that first tsunami, perhaps what Rollins is referring to. And it seems that Big Bronson Reed is going to finish Rollins right here. Oh, but Rollins gets out of harm's way. Rollins just saving himself, realized he was in deep, deep trouble. What a senton by Big Bronson Reed. Rollins not making it easy whatsoever for a Big Bronson Reed to use him as a stepping stone. And Rollins rolls to the outside, realizing he was in a very dangerous situation, wisely using his veteran instincts to roll out of the way. But it's obvious, it's clear as day, how much pain, how tough of a time Seth freaking Rollins is going through right now with the damage that's been caused by Big Bronson Reed throughout this match. Reed keeps getting in the business of Rollins. Reed keeps on the attack. He does not want to give Rollins any time to breathe. Steel steps, he'll get disqualified. Rollins with a chop block to the knee, and Reed, stomp on the steel steps. A stomp by Rollins. The official will begin the count. But Bronson Reed is still alive. Back into the ring with a stomp by Rollins. And another stomp by Seth freaking Rollins. Bronson Reed still moving. What is it going to take to keep down Big Bronson Reed? And Rollins was right about off the top. One more stomp to close it out. And that's gotta do it to put Bronson Reed away. That's gonna do it for sure. Rollins has slayed another beast. Another monster. A gutsy performance, a gutsy win by Seth freaking Rollins. He's slayed beasts. He's conquered kings. And now he has destroyed a behemoth. And he has survived a tsunami. That is Big Bronson Reed. There's a reason that Rollins is a visionary, that he's a revolutionary. Rollins saying you should have finished me when you had the chance. And then it infuriated Reed. Reed with a clothesline. But Reed let his emotions get the best of him, trying to use the steel steps. And that ultimately led to the beginning of the end for Big Bronson Reed. His inexperience in big matches like these ultimately cost him the biggest match of his career. And one final stomp off the top to put the final nail in the coffin, pulling the leg back for the 1, 2, and 3 to take it all home. As Rollins survives Reed, but the problem is Reed is already back up on his feet. Reed is still standing. After 3 stomps in this match, it's insane, this monster rising from the dead. You gotta think this isn't over between Big Bronson Reed and Seth freaking Rollins. Reed saying he wants more. Seth has done it all, but he just faced and conquered and dealt with another monster. Rollins saying the same thing's going to happen if you come after me again.